Are you ready to make the best blueberry French toast casserole? I think so. Let's get going because it is delicious and you're gonna wanna eat it. Well, hello, we're getting close to spring. We're getting close to Easter, spring celebrations, and I think brunch items are always good, whether you want them for brunch, lunch, or supper. They're delicious. And this is a blueberry French toast baked, which I love. And you can actually even make it the night before if you want to, so it's super easy either way. And what we have here are simple ingredients. I'm gonna even have frozen blueberries. I froze these last year, picked them at a local blueberry farm, hello Blueberry Bottom Farm, and they are the most delicious organic blueberries, and I froze them last year. You can watch that video, and now I'm gonna use them. That's why we do things like that, preserve things, that's why. So I do have my baking dish here, and just to get it ready, I wanna take some butter and butter it. So what is the difference between butter and baking spray? Flavor mostly. So with this, we're gonna get some good flavor, and it's gonna just help it be a little bit more nonstick too, but it's gonna add that buttery goodness, which it's French toast. So forget the health benefits and just have the flavor, which is what butter's gonna do. So I have that ready to go, and now we can talk about the bread. So the bread we're using here is a challah. I made this recently. I had it in my freezer and just been saving it until I wanted to make a French toast. The reason we do challah, it has a lot of eggs in it. It has a good, like just a hint of sweetness, but not too much sweetness. And it's just a really good bread. And that's what I love about it. It's a delicious, beautiful bread, and that's what's nice. So what we do, I'm gonna leave them whole. I want the whole pieces here. And we're just gonna line them up. And it's kind of odd what we're doing, but you're gonna see, we're just gonna line them up as best we can. Now, obviously we can't make this perfect, but we're gonna kind of just shingle them. And we're gonna keep doing that tightly as much as we can. And then once we get the custard put together, which is what we're gonna do next, then we'll pour that in with these and they'll start condensing because they're gonna soak it in and they'll get soft. But it's just kind of nice to have it ready to go before we do that, because then everything's ready, and that's the best part. So if you haven't made French toast, obviously you could do it out just on a counter and do it fresh, or you can do it like this where you do it in a baking dish, which is different, yes, but it's, I don't know, I think what I like about this is it encompasses with more flavors and it has so much goodness, but it can feed a crowd, and that's what's great too. So you don't have to sit there over a stove and go piece by piece. I'm putting in just some of these extras because usually it takes one loaf. Now what I'm gonna do before we make the custard again is the blueberries. I'm gonna start sprinkling some in. We'll put some on top at the end, but I like them to be down in those crevices because then as it bakes, the blueberries are all encompassed. So if you do frozen, use them when they're still frozen. They will turn your hand purple, but if you let them thaw fully from frozen, they're gonna be really soft. And that's just gonna be annoying to work with. You don't want that. So you can see now most of the blueberries, I'll reserve a few here to make sure at the top I can put some more on. And now we can talk about the custard, the good part. So what is custard? It's eggs, it's milk. What we're gonna do is get a whisk. I have my eggs right in here. And we're gonna whisk the eggs first just to make sure they're well combined. If you don't mix them and you add in all the milk and cream, they can then be hard to know if they're all broken up, if they're all whisked together. And the reason I'm doing this in a large measuring cup like this is it's easier to pour. You can do it in a bowl. I just find a measuring cup works well. So to this now we wanna add some goodness, some whole milk. Now you could use a 2% milk, a different milk. The thing is with whole milk, guess what? It has more flavor. Fat is flavor. So when we're making certain things and they are an indulgence, which this is an indulgence, you wanna use the good stuff. So we're gonna do some heavy cream. Heavy cream again, it has that richness, it has that flavor. Of course you could do a half and half. It just won't have quite the same flavor. That does not mean it's bad. It just means it won't. We're gonna whisk that in, and now we're gonna add a little bit of salt, like that. We wanna zest a lemon. So what does lemon zest do? It adds brightness, it adds citrus, it adds a pop of flavor. I think anytime you add lemon to something, it sits on your tongue, that lemon does, and wakes all the other flavors up. And what lemon works really well with is blueberries. So I'm gonna sit here and zest the rest of this just like this, and we'll throw it in. As you can see, I have all the rind right here, and I do it upside down because then I can catch it and then just turn it over and get it all right in there. So I love that lemon flavor. It's gonna work so well with the blueberries. We're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice too. Sometimes lemon juice can curdle milk, so this is gonna be quick enough that it won't. And we're just gonna put it right in there. A little bit of that juice. We're gonna stir it in. And now we need just a hint of sweetness. So of course, French toast, you can serve with maple syrup, you can add powdered sugar. So we don't want it cloyingly sweet, but we want some sweetness. That's what this is all about. A little bit goes a long way here. So we're gonna mix that in. We're gonna add in some vanilla because it's delicious and it's French toast. And again, with that lemon, you're really gonna notice the vanilla. And then some cinnamon. So cinnamon, can you have French toast without cinnamon? I don't think it's allowed. You can see I measure exactly how much cinnamon I'm putting in. That's the important part. And we're gonna mix that in, stir it in. And that's how simple it is. That's custard, that's French toast bake. That's what I love. So we have this ready to go. And what we're gonna do is slowly pour it on. Now, obviously at first, you're gonna think it's just going to the bottom. Yes, it does pretty much just go to the bottom. But bread, like paper towels, like anything, will slowly absorb it up to the top. So what we do is we let it sit here for a little bit. And again, if you wanted to at this point, cover it, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and it would really soak in. But what I'm gonna let it do is just sit on the counter here for a few minutes and slowly let it soak all this in, which how will you know? You'll start seeing it absorb. So we're gonna let this soak in. We'll put the rest of the blueberries on top. We're gonna bake this and we're gonna be happy. I'll try it even for you. So this has sat for about 30 minutes and then that just is giving it time to soak into it. Now, this again would have been great to make the night before. So the night before, pour it over, cover it with plastic wrap, put it in your fridge and it will slowly soak all night. So either one works. Now what I'm gonna do is finish it off with some roasted pecans. They're roasted and then chopped, and you always, to me, roasted, toasted, you always wanna put pecans into something like this, roasted or toasted, because that's gonna give them more flavor and help them not get soggy. So I'm just sprinkling them over. I know, you're getting hungry, I am too. And then the rest of those blueberries, just because I like to see the blueberries. I want people to know this is blueberry, and it's blueberry forward, and it looks delicious, and you want all that goodness. Now you could serve them with fresh blueberries on the side, but these ones are getting baked in it, so they'll get jammy and soft and beautiful. So now we're gonna throw this in the oven. It's gonna bake, then we'll take it out, let it cool, of course, because I can't eat it when it's hot. I've done it, I get my mouth burned. We'll let it cool, and then we'll try it. Look at this goodness. So I took it out of the oven a little bit ago and I let it cool off slightly because it's easier to serve, to take out when it's a little bit cooled. But you can see how brown and golden it gets on top. That's why I kind of like leaving it in slices because then you get those nice crusty pieces, but like a soft, custardy, almost creamy interior. Now you can try to serve it always by the slice. You could do it just by, cutting a corner too. It's really whatever works best for you. And honestly, sometimes I find it's easier just to like take it out more like a casserole almost. But look, see how it's soaked in all that goodness and you just get these like beautiful pieces pretty much. I want you to see this. Oh, look at that. See how it's like soft and creamy in the middle? That's exactly what you want. So you can dress this up if you want. You could put more fresh blueberries. You could even take a little bit of powdered sugar, just a little bit, gild the lily a little bit. You can just kind of dust it over it. Look at that. Now, you could do maple syrup. I don't think it needs syrup. I think there's enough in it. But make it your own. Do what you do. Oh, I love how they just fall apart. They're beautiful. It's good. It's really good. What I like is, I can see why some people would want maple syrup in the sense that it's not overly sweet. I'm not a huge sweet person all the time, but a little bit of maple syrup would add sweetness, but more so what I get intense, beautiful blueberry, because they're warm and they just burst with their juices. You get the wonderful little pieces of pecan right there. You get this soft interior. Look how soft that is. That bread just soaks in all that custard. But then on top here, you can get some of the crunchy bits if you want them, which I do. I want them. I love it. I think this is delicious. What I love about it is it's great for brunch. It feeds a crowd. You can serve it for supper too. Anyone's gonna love it no matter what meal you're having it for. So what do I hope you do with this? I hope you share the video around. I need to finish my bite. I hope you share the video around. I hope you share it because, yes, of course it helps me, but it helps everyone else see. You can make good food at home. You don't have to go out for brunch all the time. Have your friends over. Have brunch at home. Change the dynamic. It'll be fun. You can have mimosas at home too. Check my website, wiseguide.com, for this recipe. For all my other recipes, they're all on wiseguide.com. Until then, make something good, enjoy it, try something different. That's the point.